Well, thousands of people will be looking up Monday as the eclipse makes its way across the country. We have more now from ABC's Michael Yoshida.
As millions watch the moon block out the sun, scientists across the globe will be keeping a close watch too. This eclipse allowing researchers to study the outer edges of the sun in a way they normally can't.
If you talk to the science community about this, they call the moon the perfect coronagraph because it blocks out most of the sun in just a way that allows us to look at the corona.
That's the outer atmosphere of the sun, a place scientists still have many questions about. It's where solar winds and storms come from, which when aimed at Earth can affect our upper atmosphere.
Sometimes in great ways like the northern lights, and sometimes in not so great ways like disrupting communications.
NASA will be using sounding rockets and high-altitude planes to try and better understand this solar activity. In the past, GPS, electrical grids, satellites, and more have been impacted by solar storms.
The sun's activity is ramping up.
Peter Becker, a George Mason University professor, is working with the Navy and Department of Defense to better understand how solar activities impact systems on Earth, including the internet. He says a lot of infrastructure needs to be improved to prevent what he calls an internet apocalypse.
If you take the internet down, even for a day, I think the estimates are like about $10 billion of economic damage per day in the U.S. alone.
Eclipse is different from the one we saw 7 years ago when the sun was at a solar minimum. This year it'll be near a solar maximum, which that means there'll be more activity on and around the sun, more of those solar storms, solar winds, and those are crucial. Again, those are what these scientists are trying to study during this eclipse. Back to you.
Michael, what are some notable ways these solar winds and storms have impacted us here on Earth?
Yeah, so if you think going back just a few years, 2022, dozens of Starlink satellites that orbit the Earth, they actually burned up as a result of some of this solar activity. A part of the atmosphere heated up and started to expand. Also, if we go back to 1989, some solar activity triggered a major blackout in parts of Canada, causing millions of people to be without electricity when that solar activity impacted an electrical grid. Again, these are some more of the major events, but show just why it's so important, according to these scientists, that we better understand these storms, how to predict them, and how to improve some of our infrastructure here on Earth to protect those parts of our lives that rely on some of this technology.
And NASA is inviting everyday citizens to get involved with the science and research. How can we take part?
Yeah, so this is pretty cool. They have over 40 of what they call the citizen science projects, many of them right now related to the eclipse. Some include amateur radio operators trying to communicate during the eclipse, seeing how those radio broadcasts get impacted by the eclipse, as well as people just going outside and observing, taking note of how insects and other animals may interact or change once we have that eclipse happening. You know, their environment they're used to. A quick change, they're going to complete darkness. So those are some of the ways they're asking people to get involved. The good news, many of these projects, all you need is a phone or a laptop. And for more information on all of those, you just head to NASA's website, go to their citizen science section, and it'll have all the information you need.
That sounds so fun. Monday is definitely going to be a big day. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, thank you.